beautiful, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to this video where we are gonna do a get ready with me. I'm gonna chat about some things. I want to chat about PR. I want to chat about the difference between PR and sponsorships and why one might be good sometimes and why one might be the better option sometimes. Just a casual discussion about PR, about sponsorships. And I want to do it using these two palettes. Wow, did I have a brain fart? I don't know, but I wanted to use these two palettes together. This is the Circle Loco and this is the Natasha Denona Pastel. I really wanted to combine these two, and I thought, what better place than in a chat to get ready with me. So if you want to see some more makeup content though, don't forget to subscribe because I upload 5 videos a week and it's mostly about color. It's 100% about makeup. I think I'm going to be using this one again. I think this is going to be my second time using the Rose Ink Tinted Serum. I think that is what I'm going to do. Is it better if I do it like this? It looks so dark here. I think this is going to be nice. Okay, so here's the thing. I see a lot of people sometimes confusing PR with sponsorships, and I also see a lot of influencers, creators also confusing sometimes sponsorships with PR. PR is you getting, because PR is like public relations. That is a brand or a person sending you something, hoping that you will do something with it. It is no strings attached. If you don't want to do anything with it, you don't have to do anything with it. There are no obligations. You didn't promise anything. And a lot of times when it comes to PR, you don't even know that it's coming. I will say with bigger brands that I receive PR from, which is not that many, but let's say Colourpop, for example. I don't know if I'm getting Colourpop PR until I get Colourpop PR, which makes it really hard to plan around Colourpop PR, because sometimes when I get Colourpop PR, I want to do a dedicated video on it because it comes early, and sometimes when it then doesn't show up because I don't get all the PR packages, you have to rearrange your schedule. And yeah, I'm not this is not me complaining about, oh no, PR is so annoying. I'm just saying why sometimes I won't do dedicated videos on Colourpop PR. It's just that I don't know whether or not it's coming. A sponsorship though, that is something that you are doing in exchange for something. You are changing something. Usually it is the brand deciding what kind of content they want, or just deciding that they do want content, and usually it is in exchange for money, like a payment, which is how I think sponsorships should be. A lot of brands though, they will try and lure you into a sponsorship, calling it PR, but saying that you have to post with it. That is not PR. You don't have to post with PR. As soon as you start promising that you're gonna do something with the PR, it moves on from being a PR to being sponsored. So if a brand says, we will send you this eyeshadow palette in exchange for a view, in exchange for a post, in exchange for a TikTok, that is a sponsored post, and you have to pay taxes on what you got as a payment. And if you didn't get money as payment, then the IRS will see you getting that eyeshadow palette as payment because you promised them a post. That means that the post is sponsored. And this is why I wish all influencers, all creators would stop accepting unpaid sponsored work, because that is what it is. Because it is you working for the brand. You are doing what they asked you to do. It is just a little bit unfair that they don't want to pay you for your work. And I've seen a lot of brands, big and small lately, have been sliding into DMs, sending little messages to me and to my friends saying, we'll send you one product and you'll do these posts. And I have nice and sometimes not so nicely told them that I'm sorry, but I don't work for free. And as a big company, as some of these are, we're talking sold at Ulta, sold at Nordstrom, sold at Sephora, they should know. They should know, and they should not try and take advantage of creators like this. One very big red flag is if a brand asks you to sign a contract to receive PR, or sign a contract to be put on this like club or this monthly subscription of like free products, it's usually the contract is 99 times out of 100 it is you signing a contract saying that you will post this and this and many posts about these products this and this often. Don't sign a contract if you're not getting paid. Always ask yourself, are they getting paid? Because I promise you that whoever's working at marketing that's mailing you, that person is most probably getting a paycheck. I can tell you that. So that person is doing a job and is being paid. Why are you not getting paid for the job you're doing? Because you're still gonna have to pay taxes. The thing that they send you in exchange for this post, you're gonna have to pay taxes on that. And the IRS, that you just will not take 20% off an eyeshadow palette. You're gonna have to pull money out of your pocket to do an ad for a brand. Or you can just not say that it's sponsored and just pretend like nothing, but then you're breaking FTC guidelines, and that's also not ideal. Or you can say it's sponsored and just not pay the taxes, but that's tax fraud. So whatever you do, you're losing and the brand's winning. So I really just hope that everyone would just tell brands to shove it when they come with these deals, because that is what I do. It's not easy though. I mean, I wasn't always like that. I was a bit more, let's say, diplomatic about it before. But like, if you want to send me PR, that's perfectly fine. But I'm not promising you anything. Sometimes the things that they send you, they don't fit in with your content, or it's not a good product, or you're too stressed to be able to do something about that month, or it's just an old release, or it could be whatever reason that you don't want to post about that. And if they're not paying you in money, you should be able to just be like, you know what, this isn't for me, this isn't for my channel, I'm moving on. And when it comes to PR, like when it comes to like what's so good about PR, I think a lot of people that are not doing YouTube, or people that have just recently started out doing YouTube, they might think that the best thing with PR, and that might also be why some smaller creators might say yes to this, like getting a free product in exchange for a post, that the best part of PR is that it's free. There is no such thing as a free lunch. You still have to pay taxes and stuff. But also, the thing about PR that's great, it's not that it's free, because I will say, if I want something, I'll buy it. The thing about PR that's good is that it's early. Early. You get it early. Because for me, and I've said this before, my currency is my viewers, like my views. That's how I pay my rent. Free makeup doesn't pay the rent, views does. And most of the time, the way you get views is by being early with things. And that is why sometimes when I receive stuff in PR, or when I buy stuff with express shipping, because I buy a lot of things with express shipping for this exact reason, I will sometimes opt out of things that I get in PR if they get to me late, or I will opt out of buying stuff and doing dedicated reviews on them if I buy them with my own money and get them late. It's not that I prefer PR, it's just that PR is a little faster. One example is PR from Colourpop. I do get some PR from Colourpop, but I don't get everything. But there's a lot of things from Colourpop that I don't get in PR that I end up buying, but I usually don't make dedicated videos on those things. And that is not because I just like, oh my god, I'm only like doing videos on the PR. It's because shipping from Colourpop sometimes takes maybe a week or so, especially when I lived in Sweden. It could take up to a month. And then if I made a dedicated video on it, it just wouldn't get as many views as if I would incorporate it with maybe some other products and do a Try to Get Rid of Me or something like that. So for me, definitely the one thing that's really good with PR is that you get it early. As a YouTuber, even in the beginning stages of YouTube, and I feel like I've said this before, a lot of big YouTubers, they ruined this for people. The big YouTubers, they make tens of thousands of dollars in AdSense every month. And they keep saying AdSense is nothing. Sponsored, like the sponsored posts, that's what they make the most money out of. And I'm sure that that's true. I'm sure that that's true, but they're still making a lot of money on AdSense. And that's what I'm trying to say with, like, even as a smaller influencer like me, because 100,000 is not really that big on YouTube, I make enough money to pay my rent and to buy the makeup that I want. I just have to be a little smart with what I post and how, so that I am not the last person on the ball. It's actually not uncommon for me to when I talk to smaller indie brands that want to send me PR, they will send me PR, and I will send them money for express shipping, because I know that they're strained. That has happened more than one time, that I have paid for my own express shipping from a smaller indie brand because I want to get it early. Because again, it's not about getting free makeup. I'm gonna do a little eye primer. I did just quite recently buy this primer when I bought the pastel palette from Natasha Denona. Did she reformulate? Because it is not what I remember. It's like shiny. Like I am shook at because I'm like, what happened to these primers? They used to be so good, and now I'm like, did these? So I'm actually gonna put the eye primers on now, and I'm gonna do my lips and I'm gonna do my cheeks. And we're gonna see what happens if I leave this to set a little bit. Because I'm just like, what happened to one of my favorite eye primers? I'm surprised, and not in a good way. Honestly, for me at this point, what would be the most ideal for me was if brands reached out to me before they sent out PR. Because I am getting quite a lot of things in PR that, that escalated quickly, that I just knew that I'm not going to do anything with. And I kind of wish that I was able to opt out of some things in PR, because I am saving a lot of things. Of course, that's nice for giveaways and stuff, but it would have been so much better if that PR went to someone who actually would have used it, who actually would have enjoyed it. That would have made so much more sense. There are a couple of brands that always reach out first and ask like, do you want PR? By the way, I'm so thrilled that I have a MAC Fix Plus back in my life. I bought these at the Ulta sale. I bought two. I'm so excited. Like Oden's Eye, for example, and Kaleidos also, they will reach out and they'll be like, this is a new release, like, would you like to receive it? And I really do appreciate that, because it gives you an option. And Lethal Cosmetics always does that as well. I really like it. It just gives me the option to opt out or to not request everything. I realized that for some brands that are bigger, it's not that easy to be like catering to everyone's needs, but I'm sure you would be able to like automate it somehow. You just end up with a lot of things that you don't use, and it's a shame, because I do get some things in PR, like quite a lot of things in PR that are just perfect for my channel. Like I would love to make content about it, like it's so much fun. But I also like, would I say that I buy most things myself? I wouldn't say that most things that come in to the mail I buy myself, but I would say most things that I make like dedicated videos on, or things that I make videos on, are things that I bought myself, because like I know what I want. And this is also the reason why I have declined PR lists from some brands that I know for a fact that they do not. Where is my lip liner? Here, I'm gonna use the Hindash again. I know for a fact that they do not send out PR early. And since I'm not the kind of person that just wants to get, like, I don't want to get like a lot of free makeup that I don't have any use for, so I decline some of those PR lists, because it's like, it really makes no sense for me to get a palette that they released 6 months ago. Even if it's free, it's like, what am I gonna do with that? Like, yeah, I can give it away, but then it's better that I just opt out and they can give it to someone that like really wants it, or they could like send out PR in advance instead. Because I do feel overwhelmed by PR sometimes, but then also I'm so excited because PR is like a double-edged sword. Sometimes it's something that's so overwhelming and you don't know what to do with it, and sometimes I do play, like I toy around with the idea of like, maybe I should just decline all PR, but then sometimes you get stuff early and you're able to make content that you are just enjoying so much, you're having so much fun, and you're able to get up early and you're like, wow, this is so amazing. So it's a little bit of everything, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna use the black, is it called Black Honey? Am I like lying? No, it is the Clinique Almost Lipstick in Black Honey. I used it on my reels because I've been really loving Instagram lately, but I wanted to use it on my channel too. It's really, really nice. I really do like this one. I think it's actually super pretty. I'm gonna start with the pastel palette. Wait, I need to think what I want to do. Do I want to do something orange? Maybe? Do we want to do something orange and blue? possibly, because the orange in this one is just so pretty. But I don't have anything. Okay. Hear me out. Hear me out. I'm gonna start with the one that's called Bellini, this shade here, and I'm gonna work with the oranges in this palette. I think I'm gonna do a blue lower lash line, but I'm gonna bring in something dark for my outer corner because I like that. Also, of course, one of the best things with PR is that you get the entire collection most of the times when you get PR, and that enables you to really form your opinion about, like, for example, when they send you the entire lip collection, if they're sending you every lip shade, you're able to lip swatch all of them. You're able to show your viewers how it looks on your skin tone. I personally still think that lip swatching videos are so amazing. And for me at least, I would not be able to purchase an entire lip line. That would not be a smart move for my channel, just financially. I don't know if I would make that money back if I bought an entire like collection or an entire like lip collection like that. Sometimes it makes sense if I really want it, but like I don't need every color in the lip collection, but it sure is helpful to be able to swatch all of it. And also with trying out full collections, like sometimes when you get a full collection, you might be like, if I were to buy this myself, I would have bought these 2 things. But now that you sent me the full collection of all the 7 things, I realized that my favorite item in the collection is actually something that I wouldn't have tried before. And I think that the part of like getting it early and getting a full collection, the third best thing about PR is that you sometimes get to try things that you were just not gonna buy yourself. You were not interested in buying this thing yourself, but now that you've tried it, you realize that the item is amazing, and that you're like, how did I almost pass on this? And there are several things that I have tried in PR first that has come to be, what is that? Is that some fuzz? That has come to be favorite things in my makeup collection with time. One of them is like example, Kaleidos. My first palette from Kaleidos, I got sent to me in PR, and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna accept this. I was a little overwhelmed at the time, but I was like, okay, send it over. I'm not 100% sure that I'm gonna be able to do something with this. What is this fuss? And it ended up being one of the best discoveries ever. So I feel like PR gives you an opportunity to try products that are a little bit of your comfort zone or a little bit out of the range that you would normally try, but it enables you to broaden your perspective and to try things that you might not have tried had it not been for you getting them in PR. I don't know if those 2 shades were really marrying so good with each other. I feel like it just made the orange shadow less poppy. What do you think? That's like how I'm feeling, just initial thought. Okay, I'm gonna use some of the Bubble, which is the blue cream to powder, and I'm gonna use that under my eyes, and I'm gonna set it with the one that's called Airy, because this is a cream to powder. I don't need to set it, but I'm gonna make it more, well, poppy. Okay, putting some of that powder shade on top. And let us do the orange metallic, and then I can go grab something for my outer corner. Do we want to have something bricky, brownie brown? Like an orange and brown? Or do we want to have a red? Do we want to have black? I'm thinking like a bricky brown, right? Look at me looking for a brown. I've really been into like mixing it up with neutrals though lately. Okay, this is the shadow spiral. I'm gonna spray it a bit. Oh, that is definitely some kind of fluff. Could be a cat hair, could be something else. I'm gonna put this all over my lid. This is more of a traditional shimmer than it is a like metallic, this orangey one. Oh, I love a nice orangey look. So yeah, I'm just putting that all over the lid. What kind of it? I think I'm gonna use the Limoncello from the pastel palette in my inner corner. I grabbed this palette. This is the BH Cosmetics Dance Remix palette, the Millenniums, and I also grabbed Prance, which is my absolute favorite eyeliner pencil of life. I've had it for years. I even have 2 of them. Someone have told me that this one is back in stock at Colourpop, but you have to buy it in a set. I really hope they bring this one back, because it's just so beautiful. I think I'm gonna grab the darkest brown here straight away and just like see if we can just have a little bit out here. Nothing like extreme. I just want it to be a little bit darker out here, so it more looks like my kind of a look. I honestly don't really know what's going on. I mean, this is an amazing formula, but it's not blending the best today. And I think it might be the combination, like with these shadows and this primer. I think I need to buy another primer. I'm not loving how this is like looking out here. Don't look too closely. I don't know what's I don't know what's going on, okay? I don't know what's going on. I don't have a PO box and I don't have my mailing address like public so that people can find it, because ooh, that is so pretty. I don't want to get PR that I don't know of, and I don't want again, because I want to control the things that are coming in to my life, but I have noticed that I've been getting PR from some brands that I haven't approved, and I'm thinking it might be through my management. Actually just started thinking about this, so I actually need to reach out to them and like tell them, did I put blue there? That's not ideal now, is it? And tell them that I don't want to get PR that I haven't like approved, because I don't want a lot of things coming into my life, because I did get a couple of packages where I'm like, never talked to this brand, and I got a big package of stuff and I'm like, this isn't for me, this isn't for my channel. So yeah, I'm actually gonna say that because I want to be restrictive, and I do wish that some of the brands that I am getting PR from, that I'm able to like, I want to be more selective. I would love that. I've been telling you about as well that I wanted to do a giveaway for Easter. When is Easter? I don't know, but keep your eyes open. It might even be up when this is going up. I don't know where I'm putting it, but I do have a big, I was gonna point where it is before, but I moved it. It's in my closet. I closeted the box. It is a big box of items that I have received in PR that have either not been perfect for my channel, or stuff that I have gotten doubles from. Like I have gotten a couple of doubles from Kaleidos, and I've gotten a couple of doubles from other brands like Benefit, and I also have a bunch of things from Colourpop that either got to me like late, so it wasn't like the best time to make a dedicated video, or it reached me during my move and like I wasn't able to do anything with it. Or stuff that's just not perfect for my channel, like in a collection that's like more maybe for the neutral lovers, and sometimes I'll do something with that either way. But I do have a big box of like things that I would like to give away, but I'm gonna be honest with you, I still haven't found the post office, and I think I'm very Swedish in the way that I look for it, because I keep thinking that I'm just gonna see it, but I think I'm gonna have to like Google it and see where it is, because like in Sweden there is a post office in almost every grocery store, and I realized that's not how it is here. So I'm gonna have to like deliberately look for one before I do that giveaway, because I don't even know where my post office is. And I mean, in Sweden I went to get my mail every day, and here in the US it just comes to my house, which is very unusual for me, because like in Sweden that like didn't happen. I had to go and get my mail, had to go and get my packages, I should say, not like envelopes and stuff. That's just a little bit different here, and that's actually a thing I really like with the US, that like you get your mail to your home, because it is a little bit inconvenient to go to a place and pick up your packages, because like I think that when they did that system, most people were like not shopping online, But now it is becoming a little bit inconvenient, not only for like the shopper, but also for the grocery store that has to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of packages that they have to deal with each day. It becomes like, I like it sure that I don't think a lot of grocery stores like really like doing, to be honest. This is the look. I don't like how unblended these formulas became with each other, or if it's that like primer. I feel like something is different with the primer. Or maybe I'm totally off. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'm off my makeup. Maybe I'm off my makeup game. That could also be it. But I think I have all my products on. Oh, I wanted to try this one. I totally forgot. Let me actually do this one. This is the Danessa Myricks Infinite Chrome Micro Pencil. This I did get in PR. I got it in the Trend Mood box. And see, this is the good thing about PR. I would have never tried this one. I even said in my new makeup releases I wasn't interested. But now I have it and now I can try it. Is any of the other things that I've tried PR? The Kaleidos blush is. Other than that, I think I have bought all of these things with my own money, except this one then. So let me, there is actually a fiber. Is that a cat hair? No, I think that is a fiber. Story of my life. Let me see if I can, because I want to do like a line. Is this gonna be possible? Is this even gonna show? You know what? That is pretty cool. It's very, very detailed, but I also think like, I wonder how much product you're getting in this one. What does the packaging say? 0.005. Oh, 15 grams. Yeah, that's not a lot of product, but I mean, it's pretty. Is it super visible? I don't know about that, but let me put on the second layer. Okay, my look is done, and I mean, I like it. I think it's cute. I'm not sold on the eyeshadow combo situation, but I still think it's good. And I will say, I'm so pleasantly surprised with how this turned out. I really like this. Which color do I have? I have this in Rose Quartz. I think I'm gonna put this on my Sephora wish list. I kind of want to get another color. This was beautiful. And see, this is what PR can do sometimes. I also want to quickly touch on the whole like getting kicked off a PR list or getting taken off a PR list. I have been on quite a few PR lists that I'm no longer on. I think that sometimes it becomes such a like a dramatic thing, or sometimes it becomes such a drama-esque stuff in the beauty community. This person got taken off the PR list because of a negative review. The brand is allowed to put whoever they want or take whoever they want off a PR list for any reason. I think that sometimes people like misunderstand PR. It is in fact a business transaction. If the brand thinks that this creator is not a good business decision for the brand. Let's say that this creator has hated the last 3 releases the brand has had. Why would they want to send this creator the 4th release? Like, it's clear that this brand aesthetic and the quality of this brand isn't for this creator. And sometimes people also, there's a difference between a negative review and a kind of a bashing review. It's not uncommon that you get reached out by either marketing or a brand owner thanking you for constructive feedback, because I have said a lot of things that have been negative about brands in reviews that I have gotten PR from, and sometimes they will reach out to me and either they will be like asking me more questions like, what do you mean with the patchy thing? Like, how did you discover it? How did you like it's not uncommon, and brands are usually pretty good at taking constructive criticism, or they should be. I don't know if I've ever I've never held back. I've always said my piece. Like, I've always said if I didn't like anything, and don't think that I have been taken off a PR list for that reason. I have been taken off PR lists when they have changed, because sometimes they will change marketing, like the person that's working with PR starting another job or got fired or whatever, and someone new comes in. It's not unusual for that person to have their own list. The list is tied to the person working in marketing, not to the marketing department. That is not unusual. Actually, that is quite common, and it is a little bit crazy when you think of it. Like that person that has like that PR list, they might be taking their contacts with them when they move to another company, and that could mean that you could lose your spot on the PR list if someone comes in that doesn't have your name on the list, like that don't think that you belong on the list, or that the brand is shrinking their PR list, or that they're just plain out looking at your content thinking, we don't think that this is a good fit for our company. And it is within their right to go, I don't think we're gonna have this person on our PR list anymore, as it is within my right to look at what's being sent to me and be like, I don't think that this aligns with my channel. I don't think that this is what my viewers are interested in watching. And that is like the beauty and the bad thing about PR, is that it is an unstable thing. And I've always said that PR is all fine and dandy, but if I want it, I'll buy it. And I cannot even count, like I'm gonna need both my hands, maybe even my toes, to count the amount of times that I have bought something and then received it in PR as well. Because I'm just impatient and I want it now. And if I want it, I'll buy it. When I'm filming this, I think it's the day before the Colourpop and Avatar The Last Airbender, that collab is being released. And I am on the Colourpop PR list, but I don't get everything in PR. But I did get the Star Wars palette, but I was too eager, so I bought one myself, so that is in my giveaway pile. And I actually think that this palette looks really cute. I think it's cute, it's blue, it's red, it has a couple of pops of neutrals. I kind of like it. I kind of want to play with it. I haven't really watched the series before, but here's the thing. I didn't receive it in PR, and I'm gonna buy it because I want to play with the palette. I think it's cute. Am I gonna do a dedicated video? Maybe not, but I'll do like a reel or something. I do like reviewing Colourpop palettes, and if it ends up in PR late, like if my package is late or if my package is doing a detour, I'll just give it away. I'll put it in my giveaway pile. It's not that deep. PR is an added bonus. I don't need it to have my channel rolling, but sometimes it's really convenient. Let me know your thoughts down below. Is there a list, like if you were a content creator, or if you are a content creator, what would be your dream brand? Like what would you like be like, oh, if I could only get PR from this brand? For me, it was always Natasha Denona. Like that was like my, not always, but it's like been my thing. And also Melt, and I have gotten some PR from them, but I'm not on their PR list. Like sometimes I get some stuff, sometimes I don't. It's not that deep. If I want it, I'll buy it. But those were always my two brands. But what do you think? Because I would love to hear your thoughts, especially if you're not a content creator. Like if you started YouTube today and you could choose one brand to get PR from, who would you choose? Please let me know down below. And also let me know if there is a brand that you think that I should explore more now that I'm in the US. I know a lot of you are saying e.l.f. If you agree with that, let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an absolutely amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you again tomorrow for a new video. Bye!